So let me change my camera. Okay. That all set up. Mute. Okay. Alrighty, so beginning sitting at that front edge of your chair, tending to first zhongjung or central upright, this pillar-like quality through the body. And then after you've created that nice upright structural integrity, chunwon, the concept of heavy, of sinking, allowing the sink, allowing the heavy quality that normally we're holding because we're using effort to kind of move the body or hold the body up. It's this idea that we're actually holding heaviness in the body that more ideally is sunken out of the body. So when we relax, the body dilates and separates and opens. And then there's this, just like a glass of water with dirt in it that you stir up, and that dirt is sort of held up here, but then over time, it settles and settles and settles and settles and settles down at the bottom, creating a sturdy earth heaviness down at the bottom. And then that clarity, that brightness, that ease is what's left in the body. So whatever metaphor helps, you know, the glass of water or some other metaphor I've used or that makes sense. But the idea is we want to have structural integrity, release everything that's extra, and then feel that easy, light, the term is qingling, light, nimble, agile, effervescent quality through the body. So we're grounded with the chunwon, we're made mobile with that qingling. And we'll just take about 8 to 10 breaths as that first yin and yang and yin experience in the body. So take that full breath and feel all that expanding. The rib cage, the diaphragm, the abdomen, the back, everything opening and expanding. Hold that nice full breath for a little bit. And then when you're ready, exhale and feel that settling, that softening, that melting, that consolidating and returning. And then stay empty for a little bit. And then we'll do that 8 to 10 breaths. Inhale, nice, long, and full. Hold that full. When you're ready, exhale, nice, long, smooth, and empty. Hold the empty. Slowing down your experience of the present moment. Settling down so that even though the clock will still keep ticking, your internal experience is still. Phone call. Here. Couple more breaths. Again, these classes and the instruction that I give here, it's like a buffet. You're tasting from the different buffet options, but on your own time, I'd highly recommend you take 10 minutes, 15 minutes of just sitting either on a cushion or in a chair, just breathing, becoming a master of your own brain, nervous system, body interface. right? 10 breaths is not enough. We should take an hour just doing this. But again, I'm giving you many different tools to work with. So let's move on to the next set, which is the Shen Fa, the body mechanism method. Slide the hands back, elbows back, shoulder blades back, arch the back, look up, spinal extension, and then slide the hands forward, hollow the chest, drop the head, round the back. And then as you inhale, slide hands back, elbows back, shoulder blades, look up, reach up through the chest. And exhale. Keep in mind the sort of destination of these movements is softer. So we're doing the movements so that we're removing or cleaning or clearing out the glue, the residue, the stiffness in favor of softer, more fluid, more juicy, more pliable. The term is song in Tai Chi and Qigong practice. Song meaning pliable, soft, supple, soft, like a baby. You're trying to tenderize all this tension and rigidity. And then settle to the middle, settle to this neutral position again. And then the next Shen Fa or body mechanism method, left hand forward, right hand and elbow back, turn, and then turn. So one addition to this movement, watch me do this next one. So not only am I turning all the vertebrae in the spine, but add this hand that's sliding forward, put it a little bit on the inside of this leg. So as you turn, and try to get this quad, this groin area to open. So as I'm turning right, I'm opening the left quad. And then coming back and turning and opening that right quad. That's a very common place of glue, rigidity, stuck, closed. One more each way. And then we're back to middle. Lateral movement, arms hang loose. Here we tip into the right buttock, lean, and then lift this left wrist, it's my right, but your left, to give you that little extra droopy quality. And then back up nice and tall, 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 and then droop. And then up tall, droop. So this is a really great one to feel Chun Wan and Ching Ling. Because by all accounts, I should be falling out of my chair, but the more relaxed I am, the more I'm actually grounding through the chair and through this leg by being relaxed. Whereas if I was really stiff, I'd be more likely to topple out of the chair because it'd be top heavy, versus being so loose that I'm grounded and then I'm basically like an octopus, basically just a liquid hydraulic system, free to move and adjust while retaining balance and sort of organization. Come back to the middle. Now, really important areas of the body. Usual suspects for tension. Back, shoulder, chest. This whole region, we got to open that up. So the scapula spread apart from each other, then lift, then back, down, neutral. Again, they spread apart, shoulders go forward, the chest has to kind of hollow, then up, and here you want to be so up that it looks kind of ridiculous, but it's like you're squeezing a sponge or a rag. All this muscle and tissue here, you want to squish it. And then when you come back and down, you get this open quality for nerve flow, blood flow, movement, right? So we're going forward, then we're coming up and squishing all that tissue, and then coming back, and it's like grabbing the meat, mushing it together in the back and sliding down the shoulder blades. And then the neutral is really important every time to go, and see if you can feel that you've just sort of sloughed something out and off. Again, forward, up, back, and down. And as you get better at these practices, you're going to start hearing or feeling, sensing sound. The little pops, the little Rice Krispie treats, the little snap crackle pops in the tissue and joints, because that's what the fascia has done, is it's bound together. Collagen tissue sort of knits together in a good way to keep our body together, but then it becomes like tangles. And so here we're trying to loosen that up and get it to move. Reverse, going in the other direction. Back and up, forward, down, back. When you go back, the chest, you have to allow the chest a little lift, up, and then when the shoulders come forward, you have to allow this hollowing, and then remember, neutral. Right, neutral. So good posture, from a Taoist point of view, is produced not by finding some ideal position and holding yourself there. It's produced through full exploration of all the moving parts and all the range of motion, so that when you just relax, you just go, neutral. Your neutral has that good alignment. Back, up, forward, down, under, back, up, over, forward, down, and middle. All right. Now, bring your legs closer together. Fold a little bit forward from your hips, just a little bit. Arms are loose. Swing them forward and out in front, but notice how I didn't lift my arms up. So for this first one, the hands stay down low, and we go out and lean back as you come around and in. And then lean from the hips forward. Bring the hands, backs of hands to touch. The closer they are together, the more closed we are in front. So then we get to practice this opening. And then close. Opening. So it's very simple, elegant simplicity in Taoist practice, how to upkeep this body. The different Shen Fa. Now we come up. The different mechanisms that make our body up, we just elegantly, persistently, regularly move those mechanisms through their designed range, and that keeps the residue buildup at bay, the plaque buildup, keeps the juiciness, the fluidity, the youthfulness. Let's go to the third variation, up, 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 just as up as feels good. Big and round, down, neutral and forward and up. So we're in the closed position the whole way, so that we can get that satisfying opening. One more, just like that. Remember, neutral, and then closed. See how my arms are together and closed, so it's not just my arms, it's this central line, it's the whole torso. And that also is opening the back. So my back is more open because I've closed the front. And then we go big, open, down, neutral. Now, same series, but in reverse. Start low, go back, out, but not up, around, in front. Right alongside the legs, out, around, and in. Loose. So it's not only the mechanisms or the different movements, but it's this idea that you could either be doing this with tension-based effort, known as Lee, which they call clumsy tension-based strength. Or, let's go ahead and lift. You can be doing this all with sung, soft, pliable, graceful, fluid, rejuvenative power. So when I'm loose and I open and I levitate the limbs and then I stay loose, reach and come down, I'm opening interior real estate, whereas the moment I start tightening, yanking, flinging, yanking the body around, I'm actually shortening all these different joint tissue relationships. Let's go for the big one. Back up, but just stay relaxed. Can you issue this movement, execute this movement with no force? Loose. Back, so it's this open and this floating, floating, floating. Slow can train smooth. If you can be smooth, then you can safely do things fast and sudden without clumsiness and without micro injuries to your body. So that's, again, Tai Chi. And bend your elbows. So now elbows bent, we flare the elbows out to here, and then when I do this, a lot of times what people do is this. They think I'm going to get higher by shrugging, but you can see I'm exaggerating it. I'm creating an obstacle for my own joint motion versus stay relaxed and just flare. Just allow that shape. This internal rotation allows soft, smooth, easy movement. And then down. Come around in front, touch together. That really opens the back. Down. And so just stay relaxed. All the way up. Then try to just polish this mechanism. Now, back. Right, so here, back. Then down, forward. Up. Very nice. Forward, down, back. Same idea. As little effort as possible. So even if you do have to apply a little bit of effort, let's say to get to whatever that edge is, you remember to soften it on the way down. And over time, that'll allow you to use even less effort every single round until eventually it's just the song. It's just supple, pliable, lubricated, fluid movement. Elbows out, left above, right below. Wrap. Open, elbows to the side, not back. So feel how that opens all this space. And then when you cross and close, feel how that open space can close. And then that closed space opens. And then close. Open. Close. Open. Elbows down, arms in front, 90-degree angle thereabouts. Palms down, palms up. Focus on just the forearms, pronate, supinate. Pronate, supinate. It's two bones in the forearm, rolling and rolling back. So it's a pivot point, a joint that we want to be able to move with ease. Now, open. Right, so seeing how open I'm getting, but I'm not cranking my elbow, I'm not doing something unnatural at any part. and this says opened, opened, and externally rotated. Then we go neutral. Now elbows. So you see the hands move, but a lot of times people start doing something with the hands. Don't do anything with the hands. Just think elbows around and to the front. So that is where the movement has to happen. It's this internal rotation of the shoulder, and the torso then has to fold and close. Then we go neutral, elbows in, hands out. That's external rotation, unfolding and opening. Neutral and internal. Get the elbows around, 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 around. So look how far forward my elbows are from my torso. So really make sure to create that change in position. And then neutral and internal. So it's finding and getting at space, little carves inside here that get covered up, closed down. Now open, stay open, and step your feet a comfortable wide distance apart. Now we've got bottom and top open. Now left hand up over top, closing to your right or left, whichever direction, but you're closing to one side, the opposite quad has to remain open. So don't let the leg get pulled in, keep it open. And then we got top and bottom open. And then close top the other way while bottom remains open. And then open top and bottom. And just do that side by side. Now this movement's really interesting if you allow it to be. There's a side bend and a slight twist and a slight lean and a closing. So there's a lot happening. Try to stay relaxed. So just be loose and yet thorough. Get all the way to the end. All the way back. All the way. Closing. Open. So this gets at these mechanisms in the body and helps separate them from each other in a good way. Separation is good inside the body. Now from here, up, across, in front, one wrist on top, doesn't matter, you'll switch each time. Turn the palms over, right? The arms are here. Let them fall, 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 and separate. So here, there's a slight close, internal rotation. Now cross, lift, open, down, 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 down. So now we're open, right? And then we close and fold. And then open, unfold. This would be with inhale, exhale. So there's a more complicated standing exercise with this movement that I'm really wanting to get us to over time. It's a really interesting practice. But first we have to make sure we can control this movement and stay relaxed throughout and actually let it finish, right? Let this letting go quality happen. Get this opening, unfold, close and fold. See if you can get that to feel polished and smooth and relaxed and natural. Step back to hip distance. Hold. Through. Turn. So the first layer of this one is, of course, see I'm not doing anything with my hand. I'm really just making sure the wrist folds, circles, turns. So make sure you can first get that wrist movement. Then you can add this monkey paw shape, which then starts to open up all these little arthritic carpal tunnel, metacarpal spaces. hold, and then because it's closed, when you come back out, you open. And then you close the front with, or close the palm side, which opens the back side. And then you open front side, close, open. Reverse. Turn. So again, at first you just make sure you can get the wrist and hand to go along for the ride. But then after you get that flow, you can feel how this is, it's very natural to get this little finger hand bone addition, so that because it's closed, it can lay out kind of like a flower opening, right? And then gathering, open, gather, open. This is just upkeep of all the different little parts. Now, palms face forward, spread, gather, spread, 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 and as if you're grabbing a handful of rice, make a fist. Open. Go long. So that's the tiger claw. This long reach around through the fingers and open, which is different than shortening things into a fist, which creates compression everywhere. This opens space and gets you to what they call the soft cotton fist, which is like a spacious, mobile, movable fist, different than jammed up and closed. So long and open and long, open. And then the bird beak, thumb touch pinky, 3 fingers touch, drop the wrist down, pull at the wrist, and then bend back and open, and then fold. Open, fold, open, and now the monkey paw, pinky, ring, middle. Notice how I didn't tuck the finger in here. It's like that. And then these stay long like little chopsticks, right? You got that shape, and then back. So not only are the 2 positions valuable, but notice how I'm sort of fanning the hand through the movement. I'm going do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. So we want to have that quality through the limb. Loose. Scoot back on the chair so you're very stable. Load, push, load, down, load, push, load, down. Continue. So these last couple of weeks, I've been doing a more exhaustive chair-based series, right? Going into all the different little things you can do. Because there's a lot of value, especially when people are dealing with, you know, things like Parkinson's and other issues, where maybe you don't feel comfortable standing up, but really seeing how much you can get done just comfortably and safely in your chair. You can hit every single place in the body and keep it tuned. Keep it tuned. Now, extend that right leg, foot and ankle. Point, flex. Point, flex. Then tilt the foot a little bit in, out, in, out. Circle, in, around, and out. Reverse circle, out, around, and in. Switch feet, point and flex. invert, evert, tilt, tilt. Circles, in, around, and out. Reverse, out, around, and in. And down. Scoot all the way to that front edge again. Step feet all the way together. So this is our starting position. And then we go your right leg first. Lift the toes, turn on the heel. So just notice this leg didn't move. The pelvis ideally didn't really move. Just this right quad, hip area externally rotated. Then move the heel out, the knee in. So now at that same junction, internal rotation. And then keep the heel where it is and go toe and knee out. So now we have an even more open relationship here. Then put the toe down, the heel goes out, the knee falls in. So this is another internal rotation there. And then usually one more. You can go toe out, knee out, try to get that maximum opening. And then walk it in. 1. Heel comes in, knee out, 2. Toe and knee in, 3. Heel in, knee out, 4. And then we're back to starting position. Let's do it again. Toe and knee out, 1. Heel out, knee in, 2. Toe and knee, 3. Out. Heel out, knee in, 4. Final one, keep the toe lifted and just roll from the hip socket, that right leg open, and then walk it in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Other leg, toe and knee out, 1. Heel out, knee in, 2. Toe and knee, 3. Heel out, knee in, 4. Toe and knee, 5, but really it's all from the hip. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And both. 1, 2. So see this closed position. My knees are close together. My heels are out. And then toes and knees out. 3. Now we go in. 1. Knees close, toes are in. Then heels in, knees out, and together. And then again. 1, 2, 3. So it's this mechanism of the quad, the leg, the hip relationship that we tune. Okay. Now, place your left hand on your right knee, your right hand sort of up your right thigh. So you're stabilizing and established and kind of turning to your right. Now your left leg, lift up, open, down. Then lift up, bring it in and down. So up, close, down. Up, open, down. Up, close, down. First, it's kind of like a square. We're going up and then over and then down. But eventually we want it to feel more circular, so it's sort of like a up, over, and down, right? Like a wah, and then a wah, back. Switch. Right hand on right knee, right hand on left knee, left hand up on upper left thigh, established here, and then open, close. Starting with the square as it's useful to you. Up, open, down. That helps us find the connected dots of the movement. And then you work on the schwen of it all, the smoothness, the flow. One more. back to center. Feet hip distance apart. Hands on your knees there, forward fold. So from this qua right here, fold. As you fold, turn on the hands, elbows flare out and around, kind of like we did earlier with that internal rotation. And then sit vertical. Arms turn to neutral. From the hips, lean back. From the hips, sit upright and fold. Sit upright. Lean. Sit upright. Fold. Sit upright. Lean. Sit upright. Fold. Up. Lean. Then sit upright and step your feet wider apart. Nice comfortable distance. Fold, turn on the hands, the dragon takes a bow. Dipping into that newly opened space in front. And then sit upright. Lean. Sit upright and fold. Sit upright and lean back. Sit upright and fold. Sit upright and lean back, and then go into the dragon stirs the seat. So you're leaning back, you tip from your hips a little to the right. Fold down towards your right knee, elbows flare out, sweep across to the left side, stay to the left. All right, see how much I'm to the left as I go back, 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 back. So lean all the way back. And then you come around, right? And then you do it again. So we're going around in one direction, full, complete, whole circles. So Christine, it looked like you changed directions there. So do the same direction 3-4 times. The same direction so that you really complete the movement, right? So I'm going all the way down over here, then I'm all the way back. So now we'll switch, go the other way 3-4 times. Elbows flare out so that you dip through those shoulders and wring them out. All these Shen Fa are opportunities for you to see how you can use them, use these movements, to get the plaque out from where it's stuck in your body. So we all have sort of the usual suspect areas, but then we also have different areas that are either injured or repetitive stress from lifestyle, where we hold more. But think of this as like an artist getting better and better with the pencil, right? The pencil remains the same, but the skill of the artist gets better and better. That's the same here with each of these movements. The better you get at them, the more you can actually get done with each round. Come back to the middle and bring the legs back to neutral and hang the arms loose. Wing. Turn the palms up. Reach. Now here you got the arms up, lift the chest and chin a little bit, look up, and then reach your right hand higher. And then just soften that effort so we're back to this position, and then left arm higher. And then soften. And then right arm higher. Soft. So an unused mechanism in the body is guaranteed to have residue, stagnation, rigidity, or collapse. That's the other side of it. What we think about as weakness, sometimes when people say, oh, I'm trying to get my body softer, they think, oh, that must be weak. Let's go ahead and reach both of them up. But there's a difference between soft, supple, pliable, and fluid. And then what weakness is in the body, it's like collapse. It's like flaccidness. It's like a lack of integrity. So all these movements are either loosening something stuck that needs to be loosened, or it's sort of flushing and pumping hydraulic juice into an area that's collapsed. And that gives us this buoyancy. And when the whole body has that integrated buoyancy, then you get this feeling of, whoa, floating, lightness, agility, potency, right? So now arms forward, keep them at shoulder distance, and we want to keep long through the limbs as we reach up, 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 and then turn this into a back bend of arching, looking up and over, reach. And so, hands on your thighs, chin down, bring your head up to level, then chin up, chin level, down, middle and up, middle and middle, up. And back to the middle, turn. All right. Middle, turn left. Middle, turn right. And left. Turn right. Turn left. Right. And then this slightly weird one, but really important. Chin forward. You can see how I gotta let my torso go with it. This back of the neck area sort of pinches closed. This is not a great position to get stuck in, but this is one that people get stuck in over time as their posture breaks down. And then come back. The chin stays kind of level and goes straight back, 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 back. And so what you should feel here is this whole region opening, lengthening, right? And then come to middle, and then chin jutting forward. And then middle, chin staying level as the head goes back, 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 back. And then forward. Back. Marjan, when you come forward, push your chin up more, right? Because you're kind of doing this, but we really want to do this. You see how my chin is pushing? Yeah, that. Very good. And come back, 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 straight from there, all the way back. Let's do that one more time. So again, chin leading forward. And then back. Way back, way back, way back. Now, find the middle. Crown up. And you'll notice most people, if you look around at people, especially as time goes on, this happens, and this happens, and this happens. Rarely do you see someone walking around who's getting it wrong in this direction. And there's reasons for that. But just keep in mind that this little gesture of, you know, you're a little tired, you're going through the day, and then you go, oh, I'm doing that weird thing with my head and neck. It's usually a chin down crown up move that sort of basically takes the string tied to the top of your head and goes whoop, like a little puppet. Takes this sort of heavy quality and goes, oh. And then you're hanging loose, and then you can move from there. Now, keeping the head sort of centered like that, tip to the right, middle, tip, middle, tip, maybe a little further. Get that nice bowing of the neck. Middle, that bowing in the other direction. And middle, side, middle, side, and middle. So now we've cleaned this range to the left and right. Now for the circle, little bit to the side, just a little. Back. A little to the side. Forward. A little to the side. Back. Side. Forward. Continue. Side and back. A little bigger. We're going in the same direction and getting a little bigger with every round. Back, side, forward, side. Eventually, you'll feel when your head movement gets big enough, you'll feel your whole spine being unwound. Sort of spiraled like a helix. On your last one here, you hang your head in front, let go of everything, and then from that string tied to the crown of your head, get the head drawn straight up, 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 up. And then we go the other way. Tip the head a little bit to the right, go back, left, come forward. Tip to the right, go back, left, forward. Get a little bigger with every round. Bigger. Start to let, as the movement gets bigger still, maybe even let it move your whole spine. It doesn't mean you're overtly forcing the spine to move. You're just allowing the head of the snake to move the rest of the snake in the body. Last time, all the way around. And we finish by hanging the head in front. And then the string tied to the head, bring it all the way up. Keep that string tied to head up feeling. Slide your feet back a little, arms loose. Soft and relaxed body, just fold at the hips, arms, head, and shoulders beyond or in front of the ankles, and just stand nice and tall all the way up. And then keeping that relaxed body, just fold at the hips, sink, land the tush on the chair, lean back, feet empty, and then we loose, fold, nice and tall. Get all the way tall, and then fold and sink. Once more. Now here, as you come up to standing, we have neutral. Now look at what I do here. I push my hips, this area, forward and stay loose and soft and relaxed and allow this little arch of the back, this little dangling quality of the arms. And then come back to neutral. And then do the Tai Chi squat where it's hips back. Sit the tush low, 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 low. And then push through the earth and stand tall. And then hips forward. You can see this bowing of the legs, this rounding here, this hanging loose of the arms, and then neutral. Hips. Fold. Tall. Hips. Tall. Hips. Tall. Now, hips. So push the hips over this way and see this little bowing of the spine. That's different than I'm standing stiff and doing this. Notice there's difference there. This is the part that disappears out to the right. And so this little lean is just a natural position, and then come back to middle. Push the hips over to your left and just let there be this loose, droopy, relaxed quality, right? We don't have to hold our arms. Let them go. Wherever they go is fine. And you find neutral. And then push. And allow this little side bend, this little droop of the head, right? The driving part is this area. And of course, there's some weight change happening between the legs, but I'm not doing it overtly. I'm just moving here, right? Now, push the hips out to the left, and then push your hips forward. So I'm not sure what angle will best show it, but hips are over here and then forward. And so then we're in this position. And then from this position, we go hips over that way. So now we're in this position, right? See the droop and the side lean and all that. And then push the hips behind and we're in this position. Then the hips go to your left, forward and around. And then they push back. And so the looseness of the upper body creates counterweight naturally. So you can see it, this part of me, if you just saw me from the waist up, you'd think I was doing something forcibly with my upper body, but I'm not. I'm not doing anything at all. I'm just allowing this natural counterweight to happen as this part of me is moving. Right? Now reverse and just go the other way. So we're getting the hip spiral motion, right? The full ball and socket turning. And back. Right? So again, when the butt is back, the upper body has to be forward. When the hips are left, the upper body has to be right. When the hips are forward, the upper body has to be back. When the hips are side, it's got to be other side. Back to middle. Tip a little bit into your toes. Middle. Heel. Middle. Toes. Arms forward. Heels, arms back. Toes, arms forward. Heels, arms back. Now open. Float up. Then toes. Arms sweep around and in front. Palms face up. Heels, soft elbows, hands come back in the upper. Settle to the middle of your feet. Your hands settle right to the belly like a pooling moment, consolidating. And then remember this internal rotation move. That happens as you also stick the butt back a little and you hollow the front. So all of that together, hips hollow and internally rotate, so that when you come down into your Tai Chi squat, your arms do in this shape. They go down long and then loosen before coming up. So we sink, release the arms completely, and then when you come up, so Miguel, notice you came down, but you didn't actually fully release because you came back up. They were stuck in this position. So when you fully release, then when you come up, they'll be in neutral, just hanging out like that. So we went down, and then they come back up in this shape. And then we rock back. Now they're externally rotating. Lifting. Rock forward. They're sweeping around and finishing external rotation, this turn. Turn your palms up, Marjan. Yeah, good. Rock back, so they're coming in this shape. Then as they come down, we're starting internal rotation. So now they're kind of in neutral, but then as you hip hinge, you turn, sink, and so then they finish this movement through internal rotation, and then come back up in neutral. And that's just the arms. There's other things happening in every mechanism. Back, open, and lift. And then to close. Rock back. They come in here and begin as the hands come down. And then as you disappear this front and the hips and sink. And as you sink, feel that bowing open in the back that tends to get stuck, that rounding open, and then just push through the earth and let the vertebra just stack, the crown nice, tall, and long. Let's do a few more. Rock back, open and lift. Rock forward, sweeping around, finishing that external rotation, palms face up. And then rock back, this folding of the arms. Hands sliding down as you settle to the middle of the feet, pooling, and then disappear, sink, release everything to the earth so there's nothing held in the body when you come up. And make sure, Christine, watch this difference. You did something more like this, which is a forward fold. Very importantly, it's sit, right? Sit, because that opens, that forces this different kind of bowing and opening to the back. The forward fold is just like hanging the spine, let's say, whereas this other movement creates like an archer's bow. When you pull on it, it creates that little bowing. So this opening, right? Because I'm sitting here and then push to the earth and rise. And so it creates this, again, mechanism usage of the spinal column and the torso that just forward folding doesn't do. Forward folding stretches hamstrings really nicely. It's not like it's wrong. It's just we want to differentiate between. So let's do two more. Rock back, open and lift. Rock back, back. So we're in our heels just a little bit, and then we settle to the middle of the feet as the hands get to here. And then this is that hollowing, right, hips, and then this sitting of the butt and folding of the legs is what gets us down into this shape. It's kind of like fetal position. You want to think of it kind of like child's pose from yoga, or like a fetal position rather than a folding in half. It's like you're getting the body to all fold it together. And then we just rise and stand. Let's do that one final time. Rise. 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 And settle. And hollow. Elbows. Remember those elbows, Miguel? So this, rather than just down from here, so that it opens all that junk as well. Rise. And then we've cultivated by opening, moving, lengthening, folding, opening, all the stuff we've done also cultivates this space inside. This is kind of the story, the narrative idea, the poetic narrative in this belly. And so we always close with this wing, roll, fold. So that the chi, the life force, the mind as well, instead of being out, 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 which is exhausting. It's good for us to train our chi to go out and do stuff. But especially as we age, or if we're dealing with health issues, we got to go out appropriately and then rest. So it's that balancing appropriately, doing and then settling, getting a good nap, getting a good moment of return, of consolidation, of recharge. So let's do that movement one more time and just feel how the gesture assists in the intention of gathering and settling towards this cultivated space called the dantian. Hands right at the navel level. And ideally you stand and you can feel you're not grabbing in the legs, you're not grabbing in the shoulders. Instead, you're so loose. And one thing my teacher talks about, which I like, he says, imagine you put a tarp out at night, and then you came out and there was dew all over the tarp, and you wanted to consolidate that dew. You'd sort of pull up on all the corners of the tarp, and then it would all just naturally settle to pool in the middle. That's the idea of what we've just done. We've opened all these places, and then we're trying to feel this loose quality, which then, and be quiet in the mind, which lets everything just go, settle, and return to that middle battery. And then we finish by sealing, one hand over, other hand over. And then we close with this little hand mudra. Grab one thumb, fold over so it creates a little yin-yang looking symbol. When you get good at that, you can just kind of seal it like that. And then, thank you, everybody. All right, make sure you know where your chair is. Have a seat. If you have any questions of any kind, feel free. If you got to go, we're past 12 o'clock, so I understand if you just got to wave and say goodbye. But good seeing everybody. Any questions?